hooker. One for me and one for the hooker. One for me and one... Oh, I didn't see you guys there. Hey, what's up, everyone? It's been a while since I did one of these. It's been a while. In fact, it's been a while since I've had any contact with real society for quite a while. I hope you guys are doing well this morning. I don't know how many people we're gonna get, but... oh my god. Swag to... Why? Dude, I take a 2-week hiatus from this fucking shit. And dude, you have no pause, Swag. You give me no pause, man. Come in here and make that fucking farting sound, man. Fuck farting. Like, not even just that sound. Like, not even just that onomatopoeia. Just fuck the concept of farting, though. Like, fuck the concept of farting. Anyway, I see that there's some fucking people in here. I see Jay, I see Swag. I see fucking a bunch of people, actually. Bunch of people right now. There's Goat, there's Integra, there's fucking Ilgil Hyan. How was my 2-week hiatus? Man, I don't know, man. Like, the anus was pretty high. The anus was pretty damn high. No, it was pretty good. It was good. I'm glad that, I'm done, though. I'm glad that I'm done doing that, because I didn't want to be doing that. Like, I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain. Like, I'm glad that I did it, because now I'm all refreshed. I'm ready to go. Like, I woke up. I was starting to feel it yesterday, but I woke up this morning. Well, not this morning. I woke up this night, and I was just like, yeah, no, I've had enough playing World of Warcraft all day. Not that I'm going to stop playing that game. I'm still going to play it, but I'm going to play it like a couple hours every day. Until I hit the level cap, and then I'll play it just here and there. I really just want to hit fucking level 16 Classic. I want to hit the level cap, because I never got to do that. Never got to do that shit when it was actually relevant. I never hit the level cap until the expansion after. Until the Burning Crusade came out, man. Prior to that, I'd never seen the level cap. And that's the funny thing about the game, is like, it's really something that you had to dig your teeth into. It wasn't just about like how it is today, and how a lot of games are today, where it's just like, they're trying to just rush you to the end of the game, Because that's how a lot of games, are, like, function. Like, the single-player aspect or whatever. Like, it's downplayed a lot, because people would rather sell, like, cooperative multiplayer experiences, because that's something that could become an esport, guys, and that's just another way to make revenue, and so it does. I can see how it probably takes a lot less resources to make a multiplayer game without, like, a single-player element to it either. And MMOs are, like, the exact opposite, because you're supposed to have, like, a leveling up process, or at least, some way in that you refine your character. But, it's all tied together with other people's player experiences, and that's what kind of makes it unique. And that's why you don't see MMOs anymore, because I think people are too afraid. People are too afraid to have players interact with each other in that way, because they know that people online these days, if you leave them to their own devices, they'll have a bunch of arguments and shit. But who cares? That's part of what I don't like, is like, I feel like the gaming industry is increasingly getting hand-holdy, Anyway. Sorry for my big-ass rant. Oh, that's why you guys come here anyway. Just to see me fucking rant into a fucking phone in front of Harrington House. Oh my, next time I do one of these, man, I'm gonna post it in the Bully 2 Discord server, man. And I'm just gonna say, I'm live in front of the real Harrington House, and you guys can see me and do an interview. No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna do that, Strikta. But that would be funny. I am gonna find some Bully fans one day and tell them that this is Harrington House, though. Dude, I really need to make this authentic. I need to have someone, like, dress up as a preppy and, like, go punch them in the face. I think people would really buy me then. It's also hard to create content in games after level caps are reached. Not necessarily. I mean, yeah, it can be. But not necessarily. I mean, the one problem, I'll get into a whole rant about World of Warcraft if you guys let me get on that tangent, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to make this short point real fast. The problem I've had with World of Warcraft's, like, expansion packs, and a lot of, like, expansion packs that get done for, like, MMOs and shit like that, are that I don't like the fact that they feel the need to, like, include leveling up, like, with every expansion. I feel like you should be able to make content that you should have incentive to do content, either because it's fun, or it provides something that's rewarding to you, and preferably both. But you shouldn't just be fucking slogging through, like, all these quests and whatever the fuck, just to say that you got to the level cap. Because if you're just doing it for the achievement of saying that you got to the end, was it really an experience worth having? I mean, if you have to brag about the fact that you got to the end of something that's long and, arduous, is that really an accomplishment? I don't think it is. I don't think it is. That's why I don't like the current, like, modern retail World of Warcraft, because you're slogging through 120 fucking levels. 120 fucking levels. And it doesn't mean anything, because they're just trying to shove you towards the end as soon as possible. And they're never going to fix the leveling up process, or, like, shrink down the levels to, like, 60 or something manageable, even though they easily could. They probably won't do that, because they make way too much fucking money off those character boosts. Like, you can purchase, like, for $60, $60, for the price of a full fucking game, you can purchase a character who's already at the end game. So you can just bypass any of the shit that, people don't want to do. And what's it say about your fucking game when avoiding, like, the majority of what the actual game is not only something that you can do and pay a ton of money for, not even $20, not even $15, fucking $60. What's that say about the game when that's something that you have your customers pay to get past? They actually do pay to get past it, and it's actually part of your business model. The fact that such a huge chunk of your game is something that just nobody wants to play. Because we can't deny that that's what's going on here. It's very transparently what's going on. Honestly, if you guys would let me rant about that shit, I would do it constantly all day. That's one thing I'm going to get into in my first video, which I'm going to be making, talking about why World of Warcraft is a lot shittier than it used to be. And one of the biggest bones I have to pick with World of Warcraft is its terrible fucking business model. The fact that they have so many, like, microtransactions in a game that has a subscription, you can't have both. You need to have one or the other. If World of Warcraft was a game that you bought for, like, $60, I would still have a problem with it, but at least I'd be like, hey, okay, well, whatever. As long as it's only cosmetic shit, I'd be like, alright, that's at least somewhat acceptable. I mean, I still don't think it's acceptable, because I take the piss out of Overwatch for having loot boxes in a game that you fucking pay for. I think that's fucking bullshit. I really can't stand that shit. That shit makes my blood fucking boil. But it's not nearly as bad as having a game subscription that you pay for every month, every single month, and you don't give people all of what you're developing. Like, you can't do that. Do you know how much $15 a month is? Well, let's take a look at the other competing, because that's what World of Warcraft's competing with. When you have a monthly subscription, I know World of Warcraft's been around a long time, way longer than fucking Netflix, or Amazon Prime, or fucking Hulu, but you need to compare, like, you can't, there's a comparison that has to be made. It's not like a smaller content creator, like someone on YouTube trying to put out, like, oh, support me on Patreon for $5 and I'll give you some extra content. That, people like that can never compete with a massive fucking company like Netflix. So I understand that. I don't expect those types of people to compete. But Blizzard's a fucking multi-million, or fucking billion-dollar fucking company. They have the money and the resources to do good by their customers, they just don't. Alright. Harrington House is the place to be when Animancer is pissed as he can be. Yeah, man, I really do get pissed off a lot when I'm doing these streams, because I get like irate. You know, I go on these tangents and these rants. I like doing it, though. It's been a while since I've done it. I think that's why I'm so fucking fiery and passionate right now, because I haven't been able to get these thoughts off my fucking head. You know? I haven't been able to get... really fucking go at it. You know what I'm talking about? Hadn't really been able to, you know, lay my fucking claim in the marketplace of ideas. Alright. Anyway. I totally agree. The weird level rushing is one of the things that took you out of modern WoW. Yeah, you mentioned that. I don't remember exactly what you said, Jay, but you said something along the lines of it felt like the game just was trying to get itself over with as soon as possible and just trying to rush you through it. They weren't treating you like someone who's new to the world. They already expected you to already know basically what you were doing, and they weren't trying to teach you anything. That's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. They're just trying to rush you through it as fast as possible. But at the same time, even though they have all these tools, which they could make the leveling more fun and enjoyable, but like I said, it's part of their business model that's so shitty, and that's the most despicable thing about World of Warcraft, honestly. The fact that they make money off their shit content, and people actually buy it. Also, like, for a mount in that game, because they sell their mounts virtually, right? And I want to remind you that World of Warcraft is $15 a month. $15 a month. That's nothing to fucking shake a stick at. That's more than I believe, the basic Netflix package. That's more than any other fucking streaming service. And it's not like, you know, okay, so here's the thing. If Blizzard was like, alright, $15 a month, you get access to all our games. You can have, like, they could have, like, the Blizzard Entertainment subscription fee. You know? And maybe, you know, or maybe, that would probably be a shitty deal for them if we're being entirely honest. But what they could do is be like, okay, so whenever a game that we put out gets so old, like a year old or a couple of years old, then we'll add it onto our subscription service. They could have, it's ridiculous. I have the same problem with Nintendo, right? They could easily have, like, their Nintendo Online thing be, like, a full-fledged, like, subscription service. But they choose not to do that. It's because no one's going to be... People only buy the Nintendo Online because they want online on their Switch. But I feel... It's very clear to me that Nintendo wants those, like, NES games that they put out on there to be, like, an incentive for people to come on board. And they just put out the SNES games. But... Why? Why drip feed out this fucking bullshit? There's no point to it. I mean, okay, so I get that it's part of the business model to drip out these things on subscription services. But Nintendo, you guys should fucking have... the Switch can handle fucking Wii U games. So that means that you guys can do NES, SNES, you can do fucking Game Boy, you can do every single Nintendo fucking console, and probably most of the handhelds. At least do the fucking GBA. I know the DS would be kind of difficult, but whatever. I mean, you can do it. I mean, the fucking Switch does have a touchscreen. You could do it. It could be done. You could split it up in they could do it. They could make it happen. Even if you only have to play it, even if you only play it in handheld mode. The Switch is a maneuverable enough fucking console that they could make it work. So they have all this catalog of games, like literally generations and generations of fucking games. But they would rather not even just like okay, so here's how I imagine it, right? You could have all of these fucking consoles emulated through your fucking streaming service, and then just slowly put out titles for each generation. But they would rather do it like, okay, let's start you off with some NES games, which are mostly fucking shitty. Let's be honest. There's some good NES games. I'm not trying to be an asshole. Mario 2, Mario 3. There's some other ones. I like Zelda 2. There's other ones. There's some good NES games. But it's not even fucking close. There's not even a fucking contest with NES and the rest of Nintendo's consoles. I think even the fucking Game Boy has a better library than the NES. But yeah, the SNES, that has plenty of good fucking games. I think that it's really interesting with Nintendo because they have the N64 and the NES, which I think are fairly shitty consoles, if I'm being entirely honest with you. I think it's, to go back to, they were good, they were amazing for the time, don't get me wrong, they were great for the time, Nintendo did a good job for the time, but they don't hold up well. The SNES is basically like the NES, but better. That's why it's called the fucking Super Nintendo. Most of the games that they put on there were way better. A Link to the Past is fucking miles ahead of fucking the original Legend of Zelda. Mario World's my favorite Mario platformer. I think it's better than Mario 3, but it's definitely better than Mario 1, which is the more direct equivalent. There's so many fucking classics on the SNES, and just like the SNES was an improvement on the NES, the GameCube was a huge fucking improvement. Sorry, I'm getting phlegmy today. That's weird. The SNES was a huge fucking improvement on the NES, and the GameCube was just like that for the N64, but with three-dimensional gaming. And those games hold up a lot better. Mario Sunshine, The Wind Waker, those games are a lot better. But yeah, I mean, just think about the gold mine that Nintendo could have on their hands if they just played their cards right and treated it like a real subscription service. Doesn't fucking Microsoft have something like that? Yeah, Microsoft Game Pass. Yeah, no, Jay, I actually saw you do a live stream. You have Microsoft Game Pass, right? Well, that's the fucking thing about Microsoft, right? Even that was a good idea. That Microsoft Game Pass, that was a good idea. That was a very good idea. But the fact that Nintendo's not taking advantage of that, when they have fucking classics, great fucking series, acclaimed series that people fucking love, people would love to get their hands on those games. Why, Nintendo, would you instead decide to lose all that fucking potential revenue to piracy? I would not. I can tell you this. If it was included in my fucking my fucking Switch Online, I would not fucking use any emulators ever again. Not if I had that shit fucking officially. And then you guys would be getting my money every fucking what do you pay for Switch Online? Like once a year? But I pay for it once a year, but I'm pretty sure you can also get it monthly for fairly cheap. That's the thing. I wouldn't have a problem with SNE. I wouldn't have a problem with Switch Online if the internet was fucking decent, and they took the advice that I presented to you guys just now. Like they included like GameCube, fucking SNES. Well, they're doing that, but all the other fucking consoles that they have, all the fucking handhelds that they have, they could be a fucking juggernaut, man. They could be a fucking juggernaut, and at that point, I would actually say that would be a better alternative to the fucking virtual console. Because everyone was sad about the virtual console going away. I was too. I am too. I kind of wish that they had it on the fucking Switch. But one thing I'm not gonna fucking miss, and me and Jay talked about this a little bit, is I fucking can't stand. I really can't stand the fact that they re-released all those fucking. They re-released a lot of the shit on the virtual console on the Wii U, instead of just porting it over from the Wii and then releasing new shit. Like they were like, oh yeah, you can buy Super Mario World this weekend, guys. It's like, well yeah, but I could already do that literally just by flicking over to the fucking Wii channel on my Wii U and downloading it on the shop that way. It's archaic and backwards, but it would be easy to do if I wanted to do it, so why are you making a big stink about it? And that was another thing. I'm pretty sure that they did let you transfer your WiiWare purchases, your Wii Shop channel purchases, I should say, over to the Wii U, but they included a fucking cost. Like, in order to transfer it, you had to pay like $2 or something. That was just for the fucking poor. Like, they had like 2 save state slots or 3 save slate. Oh my god. You guys know what I'm talking about. They had some fucking slots on there where you could save your game. Right? Like, just like an emulator. And I know the Wii didn't have that, so what? That's supposed to be worth my 2 hard-earned dollars? Why are you being such a fucking dickwad? Just give me the game I already purchased. You also prefer Super Mario World, Jay? I don't know if we've ever had this conversation. I feel like we probably have. But yeah, I prefer World. I'm one of those people who prefers World over 3. I think 3 is a great game. Don't get me wrong. It's a really good game. And I've come to appreciate it more as I grow up. First, I used to think that World was objectively better than 3 in every way, but 3 does have some advantages over World, if I'm being entirely honest. But they're both great fucking games. Both great I think that World's like the better introductory game if you're first getting into platformers. It was the first platformer I ever beat. Maybe one of even the first games I ever beat that wasn't fucking Pokemon. So... Alright, sorry, I went into a fucking blood haze for a second there. Jesus Christ. I was out for blood. Holy shit, I didn't mean to go that crazy. Alright. Xbox Game Pass is actually pretty good. I'm surprised by how impressive the service is. Yeah, well, I think a big part of the reason for that is that I can tell that that Microsoft is trying to move away from Xbox being a console, and they want it to become more of like a brand. I think that's why they're snatching up as many developers as they are. I do ultimately believe that I think the Scarlet will more than likely, if it's not going to be the last, it will be probably the penultimate console that Microsoft puts out. I don't really see them staying in the console market. It doesn't do much for Microsoft. Whereas PlayStation, Sony will never leave the fucking console race as long as they can. Fucking PlayStation is one of the very few things that does well for Sony. Their electronics fucking flop. Their movies mostly fucking flops. Except for recently, they're starting to take more risks. But that's the thing. That's what it comes down to, right? Well, until these companies see some fucking financial hardships, they don't do anything good. Microsoft got fucked hardcore. In this past console this current console generation. They got fucked pretty hardcore, but by their own poor decisions, mind you. The Xbox One is a retarded name, and it had one of the worst, if not the worst, probably the worst, if we're being entirely honest, console reveals of all time. It wasn't hype, it was anti-hype, in the worst way, and Sony roasted them multiple times. I don't know if you guys ever remember, but there's, you guys can look it up if you want. The video is something like how to share games on the PS4. And it's literally just 2 PlayStation executives. I think it's the head of like PlayStation of America and Japan. It's literally just them holding out like a fucking like a game disc and being like, okay, here's how you share it with your friends. Because they were mocking Microsoft and the fact that they wanted they were going to completely butcher used games by, like, they were going to have, like, a code attached to each game or something so that it could only be played on one fucking console. So even physical games, there would be no point to having physical games at that point. Because part of the appeal is that it's literally a physical piece of property and that you should be able to give it to your friend, hand it over, and be like, hey, try this, and go buy it on your own if you want to. It's your fucking game. But that's already on the way out, right? We can already tell that it's on the way out because of all the fucking on-disc DLC that companies do these days. All that types of shit. It's fucking infuriating. The gaming industry just keeps getting worse and worse. And I hear these people talking about how they want a fucking gaming crash to happen eventually. I'm gonna start fucking hopping on that board sooner than later. At first I thought, oh no, it doesn't have to get to that point. A games crash would put a lot of people out of work and be very unfortunate. I mean, it would be very unfortunate, but it's going to be the thing that has to happen in order for fucking some of these gaming companies like EA to wake up and actually treat their consumers with some fucking respect. They need to lose money fucking big time, or else things will never change in the gaming industry. And that's a big problem, right? Is that people like you and me, we know this, we tend to speak with our wallets. I don't think any of you fuckers are out there buying Madden. But you know who is buying Madden? The dude bros, who don't give a shit about the health of the gaming industry. All they give a shit about is just fucking, battering up against their fucking friends. Hey dude, you wanna go play some Forza? Forza later, man. Like, I don't give a shit. I really don't give a shit about fucking Forza. I could care less about Forza. I really don't care. Oh, Jesus Christ. Sorry. Did they get fake Sagan to advertise? What, did I do a fake Sagan voice somewhere there? Maybe I did, man. I think I did. I think you got me, Swigta. I think you got me. Super Mario World was your first Mario game. I think it was mine too, the GBA version. I believe... No. It was actually Mario 3, the GBA version of Mario 3. I later got Mario World and the other Super Mario Advance games, which are damn good. Damn good. The only bad thing about those games is the screen crunch. Like, you can't see as much, but... I mean, I grew up on those things. I never had a problem with it as a kid. I can see the difference, like, now that I've played the console versions. But, whatever. I think that they're mostly all improvements. Like, the Mario 2 remake is definitely an improvement. The Mario World remake is definitely an improvement. Mario 3 remake, again, definitely an improvement with a lot more content in there. The only one that I think is kind of negligible, because they didn't add that much, or I don't really think they added much at all, but it was already a perfect game, is Super Mario World 2. Yoshi's Island. I'll never know why they called it Mario World 2. Because it's a completely fucking different game that started off an entirely different fucking franchise. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty damn good game. But the GBA port, it's just like, it's not as pretty, and the game crunch is pretty bad, and it doesn't add content like the other ones, so if you want my opinion, you should play the SNES version of that one. Oh my god. I've been getting fiery and passionate, guys. I haven't been looking at the chat as much as I should be, but hey, you guys like watching me fucking spurk out like this, so I'm gonna keep doing it. Gotta take a breath, jeez. Alright, one game that we got on Game Pass was Hell's Blade, Senua's Sacrifice, and it was great, free with the service. Yeah, well, that's cool. I'm glad. I'm glad. I'm glad. I hope that Xbox Game Pass is fucking successful, because when Microsoft inevitably does leave the console market, and I do think that they will be the ones who end up leaving the console market. I think consoles are on their way out eventually, but I think that Nintendo and Sony are going to cling on as long as they can. And honestly, I think Nintendo might, if they can keep doing what they love to do, they might be able to be the last ones who can stick it out. I think that that's entirely possible, because they've been the only ones. Like, think about it. The Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 are just gimped fucking PCs. Can we be honest for a second? What are the next fucking consoles going to be? Probably gimped fucking PCs. Probably powerful. I'm sure that they'll be powerful at the start, you know. I'm sure that they'll be... I might even go so far as to say that they're probably going to be a fairly decent, a fairly decent deal for the money that you get. Probably. At least for the start of the generation. Somewhat comparable to what's going on with computers these days. Not the high-end shit, but people with their average computers. But still, at the end of the day, it's just a gimped fucking computer. The Nintendo Switch, I've got it in my fucking backpack right now, is not a fucking gimped computer. It's not a gimped tablet. It's something truly unique. And say what you want about the Wii and the Wii U. Consoles which failed in many ways, but were successful in many others. They were unique. They were something that you couldn't do on the other fucking consoles at the time. And the GameCube was like, it had a fucking handle, man. That was fucking awesome. Dude, people say the Nintendo Switch was the first portable Nintendo console, dude, but, dude, they've never seen the fucking, they've never seen the fucking handle on the GameCube, man. You can take that shit anywhere. Hey, what's up? What's up, everybody? I noticed there's some new fucking people in here since I fucking went on my rant. I'm sorry. I get fucking impassionated when it comes to fucking children's video games or adults' video games. Especially adults' video games. Oh. Sorry, I'll never do that again. Well, yeah, they are. Okay, well, I hate to be one of those fucking people, but at that point, why not just buy a fucking PC for the same money? If the consoles are doing something different than than PCs that you can get for the same money, I get it. But we're getting to a point where increasingly so, that's not the case. They're increasingly so just gimped computers. So what's even the point? Like, I think it's going to get to a point where consoles are literally just going to be like pre-built computers. That would probably be better than what we have now. Like, why don't, like, if Microsoft and Sony are really that fucking attached to this, consoles, the idea of a console, I think, should fucking die off. They can make actually affordable, reasonable, pre-built PCs and stop pretending like it's something that it isn't. Like, why? Why not? Why the fuck not? There's no reason not to. That's already what you're doing, except you're putting on all these restrictions that people can't do with regular computers. It's dumb. I know that some people really value simplicity, but I don't see how it would be any different. Everyone these days knows how to use a computer. Everyone at least has some basic fucking knowledge of how to use a computer. So, why not just make fucking pre-built computers if you're going to try and keep this whole console thing alive? Console in quotes only. I mean, name only. Wow. That's the dumbest thing I've said this entire live stream. Anyway, let's see what you guys are saying. You're paying for pussy PCs with trademarked hardware? Yes, you are. It's very true. Very fucking true. That's the problem I have, right? That's the issue I have. And that's why I think at this point, like, why not just make fucking pre-builds? Make pre-builds. Actually make reasonable, affordable pre-built computers. Because you can't get those anywhere. Like, you have to, in order to get a fucking decent deal for what you spend, you really do need to build your own computer. And not everyone's made out for that. That's where I get the appeal of consoles. Because not everyone wants to get... it's not even that hard to make your own fucking computer. I'm sure of it. I'm sure that if I had someone helping me out and giving me advice, which I will eventually when I can build my own computer, then it would be like an hour or two at most. But a lot of people don't even want to think about that. So just give them what they want. But stop lying to them. The only reason to buy a console anymore is for the exclusives. Yeah, that's how they keep you going, right? I think. Okay, so I don't know. You guys can give your opinions. Because I want to hear your opinions when it comes to exclusives. I don't really have much of an opinion on them, but I lean towards the idea that they're good for the gaming industry, simply because of the fact that competition is a good thing, and it gets more. Exclusives get the other companies more invested in bringing on more talented people to make their own exclusives and make more appealing games. I also see the argument against exclusives, though, because I think that a game should be able to, stand up on its own. And, imagine a game like Spider-Man PS4, for example. Imagine how much better it would sell, because it's an amazing fucking game. Amazing fucking game. I don't have a PlayStation. I played it on a friend's before, for like an hour. It was fun, but think about how much better it would perform. Think about how much more success that studio would have had if it wasn't an exclusive. And maybe that's not actually true. Like, maybe the exclusivity deal that they got, and now they're owned by Sony anyway, so, but whatever. Before they were owned by it, maybe that is actually like a net positive for them. But a lot of gamers aren't going to have those experiences. So if console exclusives aren't actually like pushing competition in a way that's like healthy, then they're fucking worthless. But it seems like they do. And I definitely think that the only fucking company, someone else said this, it was probably fucking Jay, honestly, but the only fucking company that has any fucking right to get away with the way that they do exclusives is Nintendo. Because they usually have maybe it wasn't Jay who said this, because they usually have hardware that they make their games around, So, I understand with them. It's a little bit different for them. I give a little bit more of a pass to Nintendo, because they, I guess the Switch is kind of an exception, because the Switch doesn't really have it's not really a gimmick. I don't really know if I would call what the Switch has to be a gimmick. I guess it's technically a gimmick, right? But it's not like you can't play games it doesn't allow for new gaming experiences. It just gives you a lot of flexibility for how you play, and I really appreciate that. I'm very much glad that Nintendo went for something more practical this generation rather than being like, oh guys, it's a tablet, but it's a controller. Oh man, oh whoop-de-doo, oh Wii U, and we're only gonna use it for like 2 games. And half of the games that we use it for, it's gonna make the experience worse, like Star Fox Zero. Holy shit, man, whoa. No, I mean, I knocked the Wii U, but I liked the Wii U for what it was. But, I mean, come on, really? Really? You guys fucked up hardcore. Jesus Christ. I think the Wii U was dead on arrival as soon as they announced that name. You know? It was doomed to fucking fail. A lot of people thought that the Wii U was going to be the Dreamcast for Nintendo, but they were able to come out guns blazing with a pretty damn solid console handheld hybrid. So good on them. Alright, let me see what Swag said, because I saw he said something earlier. He said something, like, important. People are getting more and more knowledgeable on computers. Most people have some basic understanding there, so it's going to be interesting to see how that affects console sales. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm saying. That's why I haven't actually heard, like, I haven't had this opinion since I came to this conclusion, just fucking rambling on to you guys, but I do actually think that we're eventually going to get to a point where Sony and Microsoft are just selling, like, pre-built fucking PCs. Because they could still do, I guess they could still do exclusivity if they wanted to that way. It would just be a lot easier to pirate shit. So maybe that's like the one thing that's actually like standing in their way. You know, I do think that even if it doesn't come out, even if they don't come out formally and say that we're just gonna make fucking consoles, I mean pre-built PCs, I think that's the route that we're going down. Every single time a console generation comes out, they're more and more like fucking computers. And I think part of the reason for that is, like Swegta said, people are more used to it, so they're more willing to make them more like PCs. Like, even compare the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, and okay, well maybe that's not the best example because Microsoft is trying to make Windows and Xbox. They try to make them look the same. So whatever. Look at the PlayStation 3 and the PlayStation 4. You can tell that the PlayStation 4 is a lot more like a fucking bare bones computer. And I have no doubt that Xbox Scarlet and the PlayStation 5, creative name by the way, I have no doubt that those are going to be like the same. It's going to be more fucking upscaled consoles. Alright. Sorry. Let's see. Jay says exclusives shouldn't exist. All it does is make sure that there's lots of gamers that will only be able to play the exclusives from one company. Yeah, I that's what I'm talking about. I do see that argument. I just feel like I have this principle in most things where I think that competition is a good thing. Because here's the biggest fucking example I cite. We're all familiar with it. We're on it right now. Fucking YouTube is the perfect example of what happens to a company when it goes unopposed. It goes to fucking trash. And they don't change anything because no one's going anywhere else. They can't go anywhere else. And YouTube's in a very special situation because they have a platform that nobody wants to replicate. So, yeah, it's especially bad for them. I'm sure if console exclusives went the way of the dodo, these companies would find other ways to compete. But like I said, because they're increasingly like fucking bare bones PCs, there's less distinction between these consoles, you know? So that's going to be difficult. These exclusives really are one of the last few things that they can cling on to. And I think even someone brought that up earlier. One of the very few things that they can cling on to say, hey, look at us guys, buy Spider-Man PS4. It's like, yeah, this game looks great. I'm sure it looks great on the PlayStation 4 Pro, but I could be playing it on a computer where it could look a million times better and actually live up to its full potential instead of being built for a gimped PC that literally came out. How old is the fucking PlayStation 4? 2013, I'm gonna say? 2013, right? 6 years. Damn. These consoles have been, you know, it's not like the what are we on right now? The 8th generation of consoles? It's not like the 7th generation, which lasted a fucking decade. But hey, I mean, at first I was like, man, we're already talking about the next Xbox and the next PlayStation, but yeah, I mean, 6 years, I'm pretty sure that was the time between, like, the last, like, the generation prior and, like, the generation prior to that. I'm pretty sure their gap was, like, seven or so years. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, what was the gap between the 6th and 7th generations of consoles? Probably, like, probably, like, 6 years or so, right? That sounds on the money. 6 or 7 years, if even that. I feel, actually, like, the whole GameCube, Xbox and PS2 generation, I feel like that one was a bit shorter. At least compared to most of them. Because we've had some long console generations. Anyway. I don't think that's really an excuse, because the motion controls and shit really are gimmicks that were thrown in to make the game only work on the system, and emulation harder to figure out. Yeah, you're probably, in a lot of cases, you are correct. I do think that there genuinely are some Wii and Wii U games, and here's where they really hit it out of the park. There's plenty of DS games that actually really do benefit from the whole gimmick. I think that the DS's gimmick was actually probably the best one, because it had the most practical use. It's the one thing that I really miss about the Nintendo Switch. I kind of miss having those two fucking screens, man. I like those two screens. What can I say? I like those two screens. Nintendo, you fucking sold me on the two-screen thing. I liked being able to have, like, whatever the fuck on the second screen, like a map, or, in my inventory. I liked the developers having the option to do that shit. But you're also right, Jay. And a lot of games, like, let me give it a good example. Super Mario Galaxy, there was no need for the fucking pointer and motion controls. They were just shoved in there basically for what you said, to make it seem like it had to be on that console, and that's a good example too. That's where they really failed, is with the Wii U. They got that shit right a lot with the DS, but they failed with the Wii U. Because think about how many fucking games there were, like Mario 3D World, for example, where it's just like, oh man, you can touch oh man, look, it's a finger, oh man, you put your finger on the tablet, and then it's a finger in the game, and you can touch stuff with it, guys. It's like, really, that's cringy, and that's what I don't get about the Wii U, is that they have the same gimmick as the DS, two screens, but they didn't do it right. Also, part of the problem was, like, it wasn't two screens, like, side by side, like the DS. It was one that you had to look down towards and one that you had to look up towards. It wasn't just like one thing that you could hold in your hand and look at it all at once. So that's where they ran into issues. But yeah, no, you're right. A lot of times exclusives are just fucking bullshit. That's why I said, if they, like, because I don't know. I don't have much of a stake in the race. If it turns out that they are completely negligible to any good benefit at all in the gaming industry, then fuck them. Who cares? Oh man, Goat's still waiting on the Xbox 720. Fuck off, Goat. It's never gonna happen. Just fucking shove two Xbox 360s together, man. And you're good. The consoles are pre-built PCs they deliberately put restrictions on. That's the concept. That's why the concept of breaking or modding a system exists. Yeah, that's true. That's true. A lot of people do that, but I feel like a lot of the people who are willing to do that shit are often the same people who are like, alright, if I can mod my own console, I'll just make my own fucking computer. And a lot of times they are people who already have their own fucking computers. But that's what I'm saying, man. Like Swag just said, the more people get, like, people are getting more and more informed about how to have a fucking computer. Even old-ass people know the fucking basics of having a PC. It's not like 10 years ago, or even or fucking 20 years ago, where this idea of a computer was like some foreign concept to most people. Most people, even older people, have fucking swallowed the pill by now and accepted that they need to use Facebook. Either to fucking share recipes on Facebook with their fucking friends, or to tweet at fucking people on Twitter, or do whatever the fuck it is that they want to do. Some, I assume, are good games. Dude, I gotta show you something sometime. Oh my god, it's getting windy as a bitch out here. I gotta show you something sometime, Jay. You would really love it. I made like, I don't even know how to explain it. I made a series back when I was younger, like in 2009. It was called Mexi Mario. It was basically like a web series I made where Mario is a Mexican, and it was fucking awesome. I know it doesn't, like, I don't even know how to do it justice, man. It really fits into the political climate of today, because it's really weird looking back on it, because, you know, Mexa Mario tries to hop the border, and then he's stopped by a fusion between the soldier from Team Fortress 2 and Bowser. It's pretty damn epic. But we'll get to that another time. We'll talk about that another time. I'll talk about Mexa Mario another time. Maybe when I do one of these live streams, I'll just talk about Mexa Mario the entire time. Anyway, enough about Mexa Mario. Galaxy would be so much better without the motion controls. Yeah, I do think it would be better if the fucking shake was mapped to a button. I don't mind the whole cursor. Like, I don't mind the whole cursor function. That's not annoying to me. It's fine. But the whole, like, shaking the Wiimote, like, in Galaxy, it's fine. It's okay. Like, I got used to it. And it was pretty responsive most of the time. Galaxy did it okay. But they didn't have to do it. They just did it because that was the gimmick. Like, literally, I've seen videos talking about the production of the game, and the swing to do the spin thing, that was a very late production in the game. They were not originally including to plan the... I don't think they had any plans to put the game around the Wii's hardware originally. It was just going to be a game on the Wii, and that was going to be it. Should have kept it that way. People who mod consoles usually just do that for the single-player mods and to access unused features in the game. Yet they're vilified by Microsoft and Sony as online hackers when that's a fraction of them. That's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right. I think that's a big part of the reason why they would be reluctant to do what I said earlier, which is to just make fucking pre-built computers, which would be better for everyone. But dude, old people still can't operate a TV? Yeah, but you'd be surprised how many, just look on Facebook, man. Red, just look on Facebook. Just look on Facebook. You'd be surprised. There's a lot of old people who actually have a decent grasp on at least the basics of the internet. I'm not saying these people are tech whizzes or anything, but they know how to go on a computer and do basic, simple things. If they can do that, then, like, kids growing up, which, you know, it seems like it seems like increasingly so. It's mostly kids that are getting these consoles, or like teenagers and shit like that. So they are definitely capable of using computers. They grew up using computers, and I'm telling you what, that middle-aged demographic of gamers, that's increasingly shrinking. So, and even then, like, people who are middle-aged and play video games, if they're playing fucking video games, they have some goddamn technical awareness. Enough to use a computer. Enough to use Facebook. Enough to install a video game on the PC. Enough to use something like Steam. And that's what Microsoft and Sony could do. They could provide their own version of that, and that seems to be what Microsoft is trying to do with Xbox Game Pass. So I think that's the direction that we're heading down, but I can see why they're reluctant to do so, because they have all these shitty misconceptions about, you know, PC gaming and shit. At least I assume so. Otherwise, I just don't see why they wouldn't have just already hopped on the fucking train of making pre-built consoles. I mean, PCs. Even less based on what they're doing. Breath of the Wild doesn't require motion controls. Yeah, I'll say this though. They don't force them onto you. The better example is Mario Odyssey, where you can only do certain tricks and moves with the motion controls. I think that's one of the very few I know you and I disagree on that game, Jay, but that's one of the few faults I have with that game, is that they felt the need to shove motion controls in there. It's like, I thought you learned in Nintendo. I thought you learned. But Breath of the Wild, I think it's actually enhanced by the idea of at least having the option for the motion controls. Because I like being able to fucking aim my bow with the fucking gyro. I like that. I like that shit. That's part of what I like about Nintendo consoles. At least the last three is that I could use a pointer or I could use a fucking gyroscope aim. I do prefer that shit to aiming with a stick in most cases. It's nice when it's not forced on you. That's what it should be. Nintendo, if they're gonna insert their gimmicks into their games, it should be like, here's an optional feature. Here's some icing on the cake. If you're into that, if you're into motion controls to aim your bow, you can use that. You know. That's what they did with Skyrim. They did it terribly, but they had the right idea at least. Oh god, I don't even want to think about using motion controls on Skyrim for Nintendo Switch. I tried it once. No. It's not Skyrim VR, I'll tell you that. You can't get some moons in Super Mario Odyssey without motion controls? Really? I didn't think that. I don't know about that. Maybe, though. Maybe at least a few. I know there's a few that you need the HD Rumble for, but that comes on every Switch controller, so. And if not, I mean, well, yeah, I don't want to make an excuse for that, because if that's legitimately true, then that's bullshit. But I guarantee you, if you got the money and expertise, you could charge boomers to go and fix their old tech. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's an entire fucking... I don't remember what they're called, but doesn't Best Buy have people who do that shit? Probably terribly, because it's Best Buy, but I know that there are people who make money doing that shit. Plenty of people make money doing that shit. But I don't know computers well enough to do that. Not in good consciousness, anyway. It's like, what's going on here, Sonny? It keeps wanting me to install this antivirus. It's like, sir, I don't know how to get that out of there. Just try fucking turning off your computer and turning it back on again. Oh, thanks, Sonny. You saved my PC. Well, now, why is there stripping ladies on here? Dude, who the fuck was that? Von Helton? Was that fucking Von Helton? Did I just have a fucking existential conversation with Von fucking Helton? Oh yeah, Geek Squad. Yeah, that's what they're called, Geek Squad. I remember that now. Yeah, that's basically what they do. At least that's what they're supposed to do. I'm sure those folks are okay at their job, but I mean, fucking Best Buy, really? Skyrim for Virtual Boy. Oh man, don't let Todd Howard hear that. Shut up, goat. Dude. Oh my god, retract that message right now. Don't let Todd Howard hear that shit, man. Dude, he won't take that as a joke. He won't take that as a joke. You know he won't. How I feel about spending 70 to 80 bucks on Joy-Cons? I'd feel okay about it if they fucking worked. Like, if they worked consistently, I'd feel okay about it. Still, it's a lot of fucking money. But there's a lot in those little controllers. I would be perfectly fine with how much they costed if they worked. Although, honestly, if we're being real, Nintendo, they shouldn't be more than a fucking video game. They really shouldn't. $60. Nintendo, are you really gonna break the bank over like 10 less bucks? I mean, come on, $60 for those controllers. Get them all fixed, put them out for $60. I'll have literally no complaints about the Joy-Cons. You guys will be fine in my eyes. I mean, you guys already fucked up, so you kind of screwed the pooch on that. But if that was how they started off with it, then I would have no issues at all. Put it out for a slightly more reasonable price and actually have them work, just like you're fucking online. Like, I would be fine with paying for it if it actually fucking worked, or if you did any of the things I was talking about earlier, where you actually had like a good fucking business model. You were actually treating it like a real subscription service. That's the thing. A lot of people think that Nintendo should put out a conventional console because they'd win just based off their exclusives. I do think that they should do that one day. But I knew that we were never going to get that out of Nintendo. It'll probably be a long time if we ever get that out of Nintendo. I don't even know if I want that out of Nintendo. I'm glad that they made the Nintendo Switch. It was a good idea. But they've made some really obvious fuck-ups that they could still fix very easily, but they just refuse to. So let's see. They learned a lot from the Wii U. I hope that they learn a lot from the Switch. But don't actually have to make a new console to make it right. Hope they just fucking fix it, because the Switch is far from irredeemable. It's a great console, in my opinion. What the fuck, robot? Why are you saying that now? Why are you saying that now? I've been streaming for 50 minutes, you bastard! Dude, I've been streaming for 50 minutes, and you're only now being like, hey, oh yeah, join our Discord server. It's like, you bastard. You goddamn bastard. I did not set you to say it. And why are you saying it twice in a row? Why are you saying it twice in a row? Dude, this is just gonna turn into me yelling at a robot, man. Like, what the fuck, a robot? I gave you one job. I told you, announce every 10 minutes the Streamlabs, and announce every 20 minutes the Discord server. That's all I asked. You can't even do that right. You goddamn bastard. Anyway. Oh my god. Thanks, Sonny. As if technically, technologically illiterate Best Buy customers would express a shred of gratitude or appreciation. Yeah, dude, that was the one thing wrong with my impression, man. Not the fact that it sounded like Von fucking Helton fucking choking on a fucking turnip, man. That wasn't the problem with what I said. You know, you're right, Swigta. I mean, you're literally right. You literally are right. There's no way that those old fucking farts would ever fucking thank someone for doing their job. They'd sooner take a shit on their fucking Cheerios. It builds character. Dude, you know that Vaughn must be the worst fucking person to, like, serve, you know? Like, if you're, like, a retailer, like, I mean, if you work, sorry, that sounds retarded. If you work retail, or if you work in fucking fast food or anything, imagine Von Helton's ugly fucking mug just, slurping on down. I don't even know if slurping's a fucking word, but he slurps his way on fucking down, up to the counters like, hey there, I'd like to get a number 9. It's like, you know that. You know upon seeing that bastard's face, even if you've never, like, heard of him before, that he's gonna have a fucking problem with you and how you serve the food. You could remember every single fucking detail, because you know that Von Helsing's that type of guy who's like, alright, can I, not no pickles, but can you just put light pickles and, can you put the mac sauce on the side and some extra onions as well? And you better get it right, or else I'm going to complain to your manager. Because that's the type of person I think that Von Helton is. I feel like he's a picky fuck. Even though he eats trash every day, I feel like he's very particular about his trash, you know? Like that 2 weeks melted fucking Snicker bar. You know, it better not have better not have too much fucking nougat in it, or else Von Helton's going to turn it down. I feel like he's like a trash compactor, but he's also got standards in his mind. Like, he's too good for like a Big Mac without enough sauce. Man, that was a very weird tangent to go on. Since they made the Switch Lite, they could make a Switch XL, where it's mainly a home console but better. Yeah, I guess they could do that. I feel like the Switch Mini, or no, it is called the Switch Lite, isn't it? I feel like the Switch Lite is a very strange idea. Because it's a Switch that doesn't switch. They had a very good name for the Switch. But it doesn't work when you take away the... Like, I get it. I'm glad it's an option, I guess. Because there are going to be some people who would just prefer that. So I'm glad it's there. I just don't really get it. They should have called it something else. Or you know what, maybe they shouldn't have called it. So at least they didn't call it the fucking new Nintendo Switch, right? Alright, I'm not even gonna... Okay, alright. Nintendo, whatever. At least you didn't call it the new fucking Nintendo Switch. I'm never gonna even... No. No, I can't give them, dude, I'm deleting this stream afterwards, man. I can't let them know that. I can't let Nintendo know that, dude. They'll fucking do it. You know that they'll fucking do it. They'll be like, oh, yeah, we're putting out some new fucking Joy-Cons and a bigger tablet. It's gonna know this new Nintendo Switch. It's like, yeah, whatever. I don't give a shit. Fuck off. New Nintendo 3DS. I'm just gonna make fucking Donald Duck noises at this point. I can't even fucking comprehend. Good lord. Oh. Careful, Animancer. We're getting closer and closer to the AI overlords taking over. Treat them well and you'll get a 3.14, a cutie pie, oh god, a cutie pie, anime cyber trap waifu. Treat them badly, well, use your imagination. Wow. Dude, I'm gonna get, dude, I'm already gonna get assassinated, man. I'm gonna be one of those people who, like, gets shot in the head. You know, for being too much of a shithead. No, I don't actually think that, by the way. I just want to make that clear. Don't actually think that. Because if someone sees that out of context, they're gonna be like, oh my god, you think that you're some type of, like, JFK? It's like, no, I don't. Also, you don't have to be like a good person to get shot. But whatever. Why doesn't he just cast a spell to fix it? Oh yeah, man, you're right. Yeah, Von Helton should just be able to fucking use his magic. Just be able to cast a spell on you, man. What the fuck, Vaughn? Well, no, like Vaughn says, it's very, I think the reason why he gives that he can't use his magic on such trivial things is because, well, no, it takes a lot of energy. It takes a lot of spiritual energy, which I can't summon right now. But if I could, then you guys would see the full wrath of Von Helton. The new Nintendo Switch XL 3D. Oh my god. Oh, man, that's disgusting. Man, what a disgusting idea. I think I might wrap this up, guys. I've been going for an hour. Man, this was a good one. I liked doing this one. This was a good fucking early stream. If you guys have anything else you want to say, fucking say it. But I had a lot of fun doing this one. I'm glad to be getting back in the saddle. This upcoming week, we're gonna getting back into doing live streams and shit. So you'll see more on my channel. You'll see more out of Underhaven. You'll be seeing more shit coming out soon, and I'll probably do one of these tomorrow or very soon, within the next few days. I'm gonna be doing a lot more of these for the fall because I'll tell you what, it's getting nice out. We're reaching the point of it getting very nice out. This is like ideal weather when and you guys will see, because like leaves haven't even started falling yet, but when things start to get when things really start to get autumn out here, I'll show you guys around. I'll show you guys around the whole fucking town if you really want. See, the trees are still green and stuff, but they'll turn relatively soon. A lot of acorns around here and shit. You know, I've got a question for you guys, and I don't even give a shit about looking like a dumbass. I was told when I was younger that pine cones. What the fuck are pine cones, man? Are those like seeds for like pine trees? Or like what the fuck are pine cones? What are pine cones? I know what acorns are, but what the fuck are pine cones? Like, I don't know where the fuck those things come from. Yeah, they're related to pine trees, right? They gotta be. It has fucking pine in there. Dude, I bet pine sol is also related to pine trees. Alright. Whatever. You guys can tell me in my Discord. Tell me in my Discord. Go tell me how much of a dumbass I am in my Discord about pine cones. I'll leave you guys on that question. Thank you for watching. I appreciate you guys when you come out and chill out and Listen to me fucking ramble. I really got passionate and animated today. I went off the fucking rails, but I had fun. So that's what matters, right? Alright, guys. Thank you very much. Have a good morning. I'll be in the Discord if you want to chat. And take it easy. It's basically a tree organ with cum. Alright, well, I've had enough. Good see you guys. Take it easy. We'll leave it on that fact. Holy